Now here in this one, let's say that I'm removing this all the things. Okay. I'm having div id is equal to app, class is equal to container. You can have like this also, not a problem. Now what I want to add is I'm taking one div. I will be having one label. Here I will add hobby. Okay. I'm having add hobby. At the bottom I will be having input type is equal to text, class is equal to form control. Like this we'll be having. Let's say. Let's see the output, how it will appear. Let's go to the document. So we are able to see add hobby, and this is the hobby. And we'll add a button at the bottom. Simple. I will try to make it a simple button. Add hobby. Okay. So whenever we are trying to click on this add hobby, we need to add hobby. Now this is the okay. Let's try to give some empty fun 2 or 3. And we have included the bootstrap also, right? btn primary, so that it will look somewhat cleaner. Now we have this add hobby. This one we are having. Now what I want to do is, whenever I am trying to add this add hobby, when I click on this one, this hobby needs to be added, and I need to show it at the bottom as a list item, something like to-do list item only. Okay, you can do it as a to-do list item, but I am trying to show you the basic thing. Add hobby, we need to add it. So what I need to do, whenever I click on this button, I need to take this value from the input box and I need to show it in the down list as a list item. So here I can use right click on add hobby. Okay, so I can take it. We can also use a dot prevent. So if it is a anchor link or anything, so just we can use it. And here in the main.js, I will remove these all the things so that you will not get confused. Maintain it as a simple. So I'm opening here. First we have a data property. Return. So right now we don't have any data properties, leave it. So we are trying to implement methods. So we are having one method. Oh, sorry. This method we need to implement on add hobby. Let's go into this one on add hobby. So what I need to do, I need to add a hobby. So that means somehow I need to maintain the list of all the hobbies. So let's create a data property hobbies. So list of hobbies as an array. So all the hobbies which the user is trying to add, I need to push that hobbies into this one. So that means nothing but on add hobby, this dot hobbies dot push. I need to push the value. So whatever the hobby is trying to add it. So from where this hobby we will be getting, from this input box. From this input box means we can have a hobby. Okay, one variable hobby. By default it is empty. And let's try to append the two-way binding. Here I can use vi-model is equal to hobby. Now whenever the user wants to change, so this hobby will be having, whenever I click on this button, this value I can push it to the hobbies variable. So here I will use this dot hobby. Okay, so far so fine. So far so fine. I'm adding something like reading. If I click on the add hobby, it is adding. So we are able to add it. So now we are not getting any errors. Hopefully we'll see in the console we are not getting any errors. So now I need to show at the bottom whatever the hobbies he is adding. I need to show it at the bottom. So that means I need to loop over the hobbies list and I need to show it. So let's go to the main.html here. This is the div and this is the app container. Let's go down and I will be having here one div, class is equal to empty-3. So you can add the design and all those things. I am not bothering about the design. UL and li. So class is equal to, we can have the list group, which is a bootstrap class. So each one will be having a bootstrap item, list hyphen group hyphen item. I think I didn't remember exactly. Okay, fine. Now I need to loop over. Okay, single hobby. I'll be having a single hobby. In hobbies, I need to show a hobby. Single hobby. That's it. Now let's see what will happen. I am adding a reading. I click on that hobby. See, we are able to get the automatically it will be displayed down. I am adding another one, writing, and I am clicking on this add hobby. See, automatically got it. Now when I click on that add hobby, upon successfully adding this hobby, I need to clear this text box. So what I can do here, I can go into this one. So upon adding this one, I need to make this hobby empty means, so I can do this dot hobby is equal to empty. So we should not play with the DOM here. So playing with the DOM has gone. Document dot removing that value is equal to empty, focus out, blur out, these all the things are gone. So we need to play with the logic wise only, variables only. So here I am trying to make the hobby variable. So whenever I am trying to make this hobby variable, so this hobby variable will be empty. Now let's see what will happen. I am trying to do reading again. I will click on this add hobby. See, it has got empty. Now I am doing writing and I am clicking on this one. So it's got me. Now what I need to do, whenever I click on this writing thing, this should be deleted from this hobbies. Okay, let's go. Here this is the right. So I can do @click.prevent. I'm using the prevent on remove hobby. Okay, I will remove the hobby and I will try to take the index. So right now we'll take with the index only instead of taking the hobby and looping over it like that. I want to make it as a simple. So I can take the index value, array index value, what it is present. I am taking the index here. On remove hobby, we can go to the main.js. I can do this remove hobby. I got the index value. I can do the splice thing. This dot hobbies dot splice. So I can take the index value and I can remove one element from this one. That's it. So splice will change the original array only, right? So not a problem. Now let's take the reading. I am clicking on the add hobby and writing. I'm clicking on that hobby, or something like games or anything I'm using. So fine, we have added. I'm trying to remove the writing here. If I click on the writing here, see, automatically it got deleted. How it is got deleted? We have added a click property. I'm taking the index and I'm trying to remove the splice. So when you are trying to manipulate this hobbies array, automatically the re-rendering happens here v-for loop. So that is the beauty of the Vue.js. So there is no script logic. What we are there is no logic here we are writing. So just we are trying to play with the variable. Automatically the template is acting according to that changes. Now what I want to do here, let's say that I'm having one div element. I will be having one input type is equal to text. So for every hobby I will be having one text. I will show some downside scenario. So I'm adding reading, add hobby. I am adding writing. So like this, we are able to get one text box below this one. Why? Because I am adding inside this for loop only. I am adding this div input type is equal to box. So let's try to add again. Writing. Okay. Games or something like this. So now we are having three input boxes. Now when I click on this one, means when I click on this input box, what it is happening? This one is deleting. Automatically that one is getting deleting. Why? Because this click event, we have written it for this li. Li means this input box is there in this li only. So when you click on this input box also, nothing but you are clicking on this input box, it is getting deleted. It should not happen like that. So what I can do is, in our JavaScript, we have used this bubbling effect. I have told you in the JavaScript sessions about the bubbling effect. Whenever you click on this input box, it will try to execute the click event for this one. If nothing is present means it will go to the parent and it will try to execute the click event for this one. And it will go to the parent and it will go to the parent until the HTML root element it will go. Here the same thing happening. For this input element it is trying to do execute the click element. So click event listener is nothing is there. It is going to the root element. So that's parent element. And for this one click element is there. So it is trying to execute it. It should not happen. We should stop it here only. So what I can do is, in our JavaScript, we have that stop propagation. We have learned about this one. Event.stop propagation. Here we can use @click.stop. Okay, we can also take the $event and we can do it. I'm trying to show you @click.stop. So if you want, you can use the method, or otherwise there is no method for me to implement. I can remove it. Now let's go. I'm adding a reading here. I'm adding a writing here. Now if I click on this one, see, nothing is happening. Why? Because this event listener click, it's itself stopped. It is not going to the parent. Now if I click on the reading, it is getting deleted. So fine. So now if I try to do here reading and also writing and also the games or something like this, we are having three elements. Now I have written some logic here. So reading logic or something like this I have written. Okay. Now what I want to do is, for this reading input box, there is some text I have written it. For some cases, what I want to do, I am trying to delete this reading box. So that means this input box, everything is getting deleted. Now see, observe what will happen if I am trying to delete it, this one. See, writing is there, but this okay, I clicked on that writing, gone. So but that games is there, but this text is not getting removed. If you try to observe this, the text I have written it for only reading. That reading box list I have already removed it, but this one is carrying forward. This should not happen, right? This is something like a bug it is looking like. If I try to add again reading, okay, so this one is having empty. Now if I try to delete this games thing, including this reading logic, everything, I am trying to delete this box, entire box I am deleting this one. If I delete this one, see, for reading logic is coming. This should not happen. For example, let's say that I am trying to add again some reading logic here. Writing or something like this I will be adding here. Okay. Now, okay, this one will work, not a problem. So this is the bug we are having. For example, if I try to write writing or something like this, and if I remove this reading logic and if I write it here, okay, and I am trying to delete this reading, okay, when I try to delete this reading, see, writing data has been gone. So what is happening here is, for writing I have written that reading logic, some text data I have written it. I will try to show you again. Reading. So this time for reading I have written some reading text or something like this, and I am clicking on this writing. So when I'm trying to reading, this text is also going away. Some weird action is going on, something. So which should not happen. So v-for loop, what it is happening is actually, so you try to understand it. So maybe if you don't understand, also not a problem. But here the internal rendering logic, how it will happen. So whenever I am trying to add some text to this one, when I click on this reading, Vue.js is smart enough that it is deleting this one, and it will try to check that whichever is responsible for the dynamic thing. So here the input box is not ever responsible for the dynamic thing. Why? Because any data property is not binded to this one. Vue.js will think that, okay, this is a static HTML element, so there is no need for me to remove it. So that is the reason it will not remove it. For example, if I am trying to click on this one, reading is a dynamic element. Why? Because it is coming from the hobbies. It will try to delete this one, but this text box will not be deleted. This writing will come at the top. This input box will be there at like that only. And if you have a games here, this will be deleted at the last. So for example, if you try to see here, see, that one is deleted, but this text box is remained like that only. So this is the Vue.js is smart enough. It will try to render minimal of the HTML template because of the performance boost. Now, in order to overcome this situation, what we need to do is, so we need to make somehow the Vue.js to remember the identity of this particular list item. So for this one, what we need to maintain is, we need to maintain the key. Okay. So we need to provide a special attribute that is nothing but a key attribute. So here we need to give key, and we need to give the unique value for this one. For each list item, we need to give the unique value. Here in this one, for this scenario, we have a single hobby, which is a unique, and I can give like this. That's it. Now if you try to see, reading I have provided, and also writing I have provided. So each one, it is having a unique identifier. For this one, it is having reading as a unique key, and this one. And if I try to write some logic here, okay, and if I remove this one, see, writing is not having anything. For example, if I try to add anything, so each one will be having 1, 2, 3. And if I try to remove this one, see, 2, 3 is remained. So here if I try to 2 is remained like this only. So the previous scenario has been gone. So by adding this key attribute. So this is the importance of this key attribute. So whenever you are using the v-for loop, means it is a good habit to use the key attribute. Why? Because in order to have Vue.js internally to identify the which element in the for loop it is looping, to have an identifier for each element. So that is one thing you need to understand it. So this is about the key thing, key property in the v-for loop, which you need to understand it most. Why we use the key attribute? So previously we don't have a key attribute. So recently it has been introduced to add the key attribute. Not only in this one, in Angular, React, and everywhere we use this key attribute whenever we are looping through a list items. So that is the one option we need to understand it.